Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I'm going to explain about our blood circulation. Before that, let's we know about respiratory system, which is responsible for supply oxygen and remove carbon dioxide from body. Air will enter through the nostril, nasal cavity, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchus, bronchiole, and the last one is alveolus. Alveolus is the tiny air sacs at the end of the bronchioles, where the lungs and the blood exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide during the process of inhale and exhale. The air inhaled into the alveolus has a higher concentration of oxygen compared to the concentration of oxygen in the blood. Therefore, oxygen will diffuse through the wall of the alveolus into the walls of capillaries and into the blood. In red blood cells, hemoglobin will combine with oxygen to form oxyhemoglobin. Blood with oxyhemoglobin is transported from the lung to heart. Human heart has 4 chambers. There is 2 atria, left atrium, right atrium, and 2 ventricles, left ventricle, right ventricle. When their heart has been full of blood, they will contract and pump blood into next section. Oxygenated blood from lung into the left atrium through pulmonary vein. Then the oxygenated blood will be pumped into left ventricle when Bajor-Spitt valve open. Next, oxygenated blood will be pumped into aorta to reach all parts of the body when subliminal valve open. The oxygenated blood from body return to the right atrium of the heart. The oxygenated blood from upper body return through the superior vena cava, while the oxygenated blood from lower body returns through the inferior vena cava. As the right atrium is filled with the oxygenated blood, the blood is pumped into right ventricle when Bajor-Spitt valve open. Next, the oxygenated blood is pumped into pulmonary artery and to the lungs when subliminal valve open. All the valve will close quickly after the blood passes through it. The doop sound is produced by the closure of subliminal valve at the aorta and pulmonary artery. This condition is known as diastole and called as diastolic reading, while the loop sound is produced by the closure of the Bajor-Spitt and Bajor-Spitt valve between the atria and the ventricle. This condition is known as systole and called as systolic pressure reading. Function of septum is prevent oxygenated and deoxygenated from mixing. Carbon dioxide released by cell diffuse into blood capillaries and is transported to alveolus to be removed during exhalation. Now we're gonna talk about the effect of cigarette. Cigarette contains harmful substances like tar and nicotine. Tar is a product from burning tobacco, while nicotine is a chemical that contains nitrogen, which is made by several types of plants, including the tobacco plant. Tar and nicotine paralyze and kill cilia in the airways. Cilia are tiny hair-like structures that line the trachea. Tar and nicotine break the thin walls of alveoli and make it less efficient as sacs. The sacs also begin to lose their bones, making it harder to bring in the oxygen and expel carbon dioxide. Some research also indicates that the nicotine and tar in cigarette may be linked to other cognitive effects. These include deficit in learning, memory, executive skill, processing speed, and general intelligence. Once inhaled, cigarette toxin hits a right through bloodstream via the alveoli, cause tar and nicotine aggravate the nervous system to release adrenaline. Adrenaline raises both our blood pressure and heart rate and make blood vessels and arteries stiffer and narrower. Over time, it causes plaque to build up inside our arteries. All of these changes increase the risk of heart attack, stroke, and gangrene.